Look how quickly you completed this, huh?
Exactly.
I mean, you're practically done.
I mean, you know, this is how I usually draw an ideation sketch, and
except you can't use
the brush.
the airbrush kind of
Exactly.
approach, right?
So
unless you just start what is it called, hatching?
right,
exactly.
exactly.
The hatch effect.
This the hatching is what I do to replace the light and dark, the light reflection.
Mm-hmm. With Cintiq, for me, it's very convenient. It's more like plug in and you go, and
right.
There's really not much of configuration you need to do. But with the Intuos, there's a lot of setting adjustments, stuff like that.
What are the advantages of the Intuos compared to the Cintiq or paper? What are the pluses, let's say?
The pluses, for sure, it's one thing, it's portable, very, very portable. And for designers like me, I like to travel a lot. And the inconvenience for the Cintiq is that it's very big, it's very heavy, so it's not as portable compared to the Intuos that I'm currently using right now. This can be used by professional or amateur artists for fun or things like that, but for the price that you're paying, I personally would save up a little bit more and buy a Cintiq. From my experience, this is the lightest Wacom Intuos that there is so far, because the sensitivity is very, very sensitive, so that's very good. And
so more sensitive, the better?
More sensitive, the better. I think that's more a little bit towards the personal opinion. Mm-hmm. For me, I feel like sometimes mid-range sensitivity is really does the job, because sometimes depending on your stroke, it might be a little bit too sensitive for what you're doing. For instance, if I for instance design cars, sensitivity I can usually recommend mid-range, not too sensitive, but then kind of like mid-range basically.
So basically, the paper is it gives me a little bit more freedom, because I'm actually drawing directly on the plane. So I know where my strokes are gonna go. I know how everything's gonna turn out, compared to the tablet, where I have to transfer whatever I'm drawing, all the strokes that I'm making, into the screen, which is a little bit inconvenient for me.
Now, but then you have to scan the paper in case if you want to use it online or for print, right?
Sure.
Enlarge it or anything, right?
Sure.
So there's this catch-22 kind of thing, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
So would you give up using paper forever in return for having this portability of being able to carry this digital kind of file system-based?
Personally, no. I'll always be using paper, because most times I do my ideation sketches on paper anyways.
The pen is actually very comfortable. It's very light.
Is it much different from the Cintiq?
No, it's actually almost the same. I think it's just more towards the system.
Is it softer? Is it more comfortable erasing? You want to try erasing a little bit on the other side?
It's actually I believe it's actually the same. Except from the color itself, but at the same time, I also believe that this pen can be used on the Cintiq as well, so they're all universal and compatible.
Is it faster using a digitizing tablet compared to paper?
Yes and no, because I'm not really as used to this tablet myself, because I don't use it much. I own a Cintiq. But for a lot of artists who are used to using Intuos tablets, they tend to work very fast with this piece of machine.
Usually, we're not really used to erasing things. It's just kind of like go with the flow, discover the lines that you want, and then once you decide, then you transfer that into the digital rendering. For the final stage. But on paper is more of a ideation And
What did you say? Ideation?
yeah, ideation, just kind of like draw
Is that
your,
like brainstorming kind of thing?
exactly. You know, it's kind of like you draw the ideas, and then once you like the the idea that you're drawing, then you basically take it into the Wacom, and then you start photoshopping or using the Sketchbook
In other words,
Pro.
you scan it, right? You scan it in, and then you use the Wacom.
Correct. You scan it, and then you use the original sketch that you have on the paper, and then you can basically Photoshop or draw on top of the first layer,
Right.
and then basically it's more of like a tracing and refining your sketch.
Comparing to the Cintiq, I would give it around a 3 out of 5.
Compared to Cintiq.
Correct. But in the Intuos family itself, this definitely is the best piece that there is right now in the market.
Or even the larger versions of this?
The larger.
Are you saying like there are 4 different sizes, right? There's the
Correct.
small, this is medium, and then large and extra large.
Correct.
Right. Which one would you pick up as an industrial designer?
This one definitely, without a question, because this one's very portable, but then it has the right size. It basically, it's the size basically allows you to, move around within the tablet screen itself and configure that to the screen. Because once it's too small, it's really hard to draw on it. Once it's too big, then it's not as portable as this size right here. I believe it's the 6x11. And
So you're saying this is like this is the best size for any traveling professional?
this is the best size, and I believe that this also offers the best price for this,
Category.
this category exactly.
So the paper doesn't use batteries either.
No, it does not. And paper is very light. It's very
readily available.
exactly. You can basically get it anywhere. You can go to Starbucks, draw on a piece of napkin, and get your idea across. Paper is the it's the initial It's the initial step for starting a project,
Brainstorming and coming up with the idea. Right?
and eventually
You would naturally start with a Wacom.
No, I would not.
Would not. Why not?
I actually never.
What prevents you?
It's because once you're on Wacom, you don't want to really make a mistake. I mean, it's just not only that. It's
What do you
just
mean? You can undo.
right. I mean, it's just what I mean is like you don't really. For me, I don't really do ideation sketches on Wacom because when I'm on it, I like to do a really refined piece, something that's worth my time on the computer, and then basically use it for presentations. Paper is when I basically draw ideas and then transfer it to the Wacom and then do the refinement rendering, stuff like that. So yeah, that's usually how I operate. But I'm sure other people, they might use the Wacom tablet to do their ideation sketches, stuff like that. I would always use paper to do idea sketch because it's fast, it's cheap, and it's convenient. You don't have to plug into the outlet. You don't have to, set up your computer, adjust all these configurations. You grab a piece of paper anywhere you want, and you have a pen or pencil, and you just start sketching. You do whatever you want to do on a piece of paper, and then there's no, stopping it.
Gotcha.
But with the computer, you have to set up things. You have to find a power outlet.
If everything works, right?
Right, exactly. I think the negativity about using paper is that you can't redo. So if you make a mistake,
you can undo.
Oh yeah, right.
You
You can't undo.
Control Z or Apple Z, right?
Exactly. Once you make a mistake, you have to try to find a way to.
Or erase it if you're using a pencil.
Sure.
Right. But then there's a mess, and
Exactly. Usually, what the
paper gets like used up, and the paper becomes thinner, brittle, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
My name's KALIPTUS. I'm an animator, motion graphics artist, and I'm 25, and I'm about to open up a brand new Intuos4. I definitely like the feel though. Very light, very like transportable, like you could take it anywhere.
Oh, you mean like because it's so thin?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Like you could just take it outside and feel the cool breeze and just doodle. I would probably do a much better job with the pencil, but over time, I'd probably get pretty used to this thing.
I see. Have you ever used digital tablets before?
I've used a Wacom Graphire, not the Intuos4.
Graphire.
The Graphire one has like Bluetooth technology,
I see.
so you
How
can
does
like.
that one compare to this one in terms of feel and you know, the flow of the workflow? How about that?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm more comfortable with the other one simply because I've used it before. And I think when it comes down to it, it's just experience. Like, because I mean, one advantage the other one has over this one is that it's wireless.
Right.
And but I guess one disadvantage is, you know, sometimes like there's a lag, like it slows down when the battery's dying.
Oh, because of Bluetooth, right?
Yeah.